It's time to dive beneath the surface and into the minds and hearts of your favorite celebrities and pop culture icons. Welcome to Up and Adam.
Hi, guys. Welcome back. Hi.
I can't believe we're back here again so soon.
This is less than 12 hours.
Yeah.
I think so.
Yeah.
No, actually, it might be 12 hours. No,
No?
it's a little bit more than 12 hours.
Yeah, I guess so.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, guys, welcome back. If you guys missed it, yesterday, Jason and I recapped The Real Housewives of Salt Lake City, Season 1, Episode 2, but Bravo's a sneaky little devil and snuck in another one right under our noses. So Bravo, if you guys missed it, you guys can go to bravotv.com and check out the newest episode, Episode 3, that they snuck right in there right before they do a live tweeting session tonight at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Did you enjoy that?
I did enjoy that, actually, because I felt like the first episode, brand new franchise, first episode, we're just getting to know these ladies. I wanted to know more. And then the second episode left me a little bit kind of like, I didn't get what I wanted. But the third episode, I'm glad they dropped that. And I wonder if they had a plan to drop that just to kind of keep us in, because episode 2 was I wasn't feeling it as much as the beginning. So,
well, I was talking to DJ Richie Sky earlier, and he made a point. Real Housewives of Potomac did the same thing, because I asked you, why would they drop an episode the day after? And you're like, well, maybe because next week is Thanksgiving.
Yeah, but it still comes on Wednesday night, so it will still be on according to the schedule. I'm just curious of maybe, it's probably just the holidays in general, though. People are traveling or shouldn't be traveling, really, but
Yeah, well, and then also, if the ratings weren't as great for episode 2 or whatever, I mean, it does make sense. Well, I mean, they pre-planned this. I don't know, whatever. We have episode 3, so it was really good. I think with that being said, if you guys haven't already, make sure you hit that like button. Let's get more eyes on it. If you guys would like, we'll drop the call-in link. You guys can call in and ask Jason questions, because I was never a Mormon, so I don't know anything about any of this. But what I do know is what happened in this episode. So shall we start?
Yeah. And I feel like maybe being raised Mormon isn't really going to help either, because some of these ladies I don't think know. Are you Mormon for real? Because they got me a little bit.
Did they?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. But jump in and I'll give my 2 cents.
Okay, that's fair. All right, 50 people in the room, guys. Go ahead and hit like, and let's get this rolling. So Lisa's telling her kids that they need to learn the 10 Commandments. I've always heard about the 10 Commandments, and I just wasn't raised this way to be kind of it thrown in my face like, Adam, you need to know these 10 Commandments. But Lisa's like, listen, you need to know at least 2 of them. So go ahead. And he says, thou shalt not swear, thou shalt not watch. I can't say this word because we'll get whatever, but PORN. What are the 10 Commandments?
None of those. So I think as I can, but it's interesting. And too, Mormons have a lot of other things to follow too, besides the 10 Commandments, and everything in the Old and the New Testament. They have a lot of beliefs in the Book of Mormon and a lot of their own principles and guidelines, like the word of wisdom, taking care of your body, or the law of chastity, which is, saving yourself for marriage and treating your body with respect. So there's a lot to learn in that religion. It just seems like, though, and I'm not bashing anything, but I just feel like there's a lot of hypocrisy here, though, because it seems like they're teaching their kids exactly how to be, a great Mormon or be really good in the religion and how to follow these certain rules that are put into place. But then they have liquor companies, infidelity, drugs, alcohol, what are we doing? With the liquor company, I understand. I know a lot of Mormons who work in casinos. I actually know a Mormon who owns a casino in Las Vegas, so they
That's
just
not
don't
in the 10
participate.
Commandments.
And I don't know if, that's kind of a way around, certain things or not. But
I feel like it would be so hard to grow up like this. But again, I'm not disrespecting anything. I just feel like there's a lot of rules in place, and it makes you walk a line and try to be a better person and the best version of yourself you could be. So again, I'm not downing it. I just don't think I could ever I can't. I was gay. So anyways, all right, let's keep it moving. Speaking of just that, I want to talk about Meredith and Brooks' relationship, because this is such a funny mom and son little duo here.
Yeah. I love watching that. Every time Brooks is on the screen, he has won me over. The kid needs a snowflake for sure.
Yeah, but they keep saying that. Yesterday, guys, too, I said that, Brooks kind of carries himself like maybe stoic or regal, and his mom is very regal, I think. But a lot of you guys said regal, Adam? Really? How about spoiled little brat? And I was like, whoa, that is not, I understand he grew up more fortunate and grew up more fortunate than a lot of us, and he carries himself a different way. But his dynamic with his mom reminds me of like how close I am to my mom, and I love watching it.
Yeah, he's not. To me, he doesn't come off that way. I don't know. Well, again, we're still getting to know everyone. So.
I know, but it also kind of starts to lean that way later in the episode, which we'll circle back to when he starts telling his mom how to behave and who she can and can't really have around.
Yeah, I mean,
it's like you're 21 living in your parents' house. Can you tell your parents what to do?
I mean, obviously he can.
Okay. Okay. Well, I just want to lean into the fact that Salt Lake City is so beautiful. Honestly, seeing the B-roll, I feel like most reality shows, especially like Keeping Up with the Kardashians, Jason has a running joke that it's all B-roll.
B-roll.
Yeah, you see Los Angeles, Calabasas, whatever. And we always see the same places. But seeing Salt Lake City, seeing the snow, the slopes, the mountains, it just keeps me entertained by itself. So I did want to point that out. I think Salt Lake City is so beautiful, and we have to check it out.
Same. I mean, it's the same thing with Potomac, Dallas even, or what's another one that's not... we see Beverly Hills all the time, and we see, Southern California in OC and New York and these iconic spots, but it's cool to see
something different.
Yeah, something different.
Yeah, I agree. Well, as we get through this episode, we see a new side of Heather Gay, because Heather is kind of letting us into her life and what happened to her and her husband's relationship. And guys, I have to say, I think she might be one of my favorites. Honestly, I see why Andy was saying on Watch What Happens Live that Heather Gay is one to watch. She's so just forthcoming with all of her information, the demons, everything that she's dealt with. And that can't be easy to do. Now, mind you, they are the ones who are signing the contract to be a snowflake holder. And with that comes the responsibility of divulging all of this information. So they do have that responsibility, but that's no easy task. When Heather Gay is in this episode and she's starting to prepare for this little fun baby shower kind of situation, which was cute, she has a whole theme in mind, and she bought 5 little baby Range Rovers, because 5 out of 20 of her employees are all pregnant for the first time at the same time with all boys.
How crazy is that?
That's ridiculous. So we're watching, and she ends up inviting Jen Shah over, and I think Jen Shah might be your favorite.
I love Jen Shah. She just seems like a good time and a like good energy. I like her. Yeah. I think she's fun.
Yeah, she has a lot of great energy. And she ends up coming over and helping Heather kind of, I guess, put these little makeshift bows on these Range Rovers. Like, there really was not a reason for Jen Shah to come over and participate in this, but it was a scene that needed to be filmed. And, Jen showed that she's a really supportive friend. Heather Gay started talking about the fact that her and her husband were in an 11-year marriage, and they ended up getting a divorce. He said that he wanted to divorce her, but she didn't marry him because she was in love with him. She married him because he was Mormon. And she said that. Which
is crazy. I mean, I've seen that a lot growing up Mormon. I've seen that. I don't understand it, because I know that religion and love can coexist. I just don't know it. Like, you're just held to such a high standard and judgment in the Mormon church, and yeah, I didn't really completely understand where she kind of just said, it was because I'm Mormon and everything is about me being Mormon. It's like, well, it's also about you being a person too.
Yeah.
It was interesting.
Yeah. You still have to take care of yourself first. Wait, can I ask you something really quick? Because we also, and this is a totally different network, we watch TLC's 90 Day, and we see sometimes where they're battling with being, let's say Brittany and Yas, and battling with being Muslim and having to have her convert to that. But then he said, well, you don't have to just be Muslim. You could be Christian too. Now, for Mormons, can you be be a part of another religion? Or do you have this, like, Mormons stick with Mormons?
No, I mean, like, I know a lot of people who are Mormon who have married people who are not Mormon. For instance, my dad was raised Jewish and Catholic. I know that's also another weird mix, but he converted for my mom because he wanted to marry her and just make the family happy. But also he, gained some kind of knowledge or something when he converted that made him want, to be. But it was because they were in love, which, getting back to Heather, that's what I didn't exist. Is my parents, when they met, they were in love. So they made changes. It just felt like, oh, you're Mormon, I'm Mormon, let's get married. And that's the way it's supposed to be. And if there's no love there, of course it's not going to work. Like, I kind of have a hard time understanding Heather at that point.
Yeah, but I also feel like she's kind of getting a little bit of a rebirth in her life right now, which is really exciting because she's understanding what's more important to her while still battling with the fact that she wants to be the best Mormon that she can be. But this is why I said Jen Shah's a really good supportive friend. Jen Shah's looking at her like, listen, you're not a failure. You are breaking a cycle. And if you wouldn't have broken this cycle, then your daughters, their daughters, and generations, it just would have been a snowball effect of your family just marrying for religion and not for love and not being happy. Heather Gay ends up saying that, she gave up everything to be with this man. And then he just kind of threw her away like it was nothing. Just let her know, I want to get a divorce. And it turned her whole world upside down. She doesn't come from a divorced family. It's not, generations behind her, they haven't been divorced. She was the first one. So she feels a little bit defeated, I think, by that.
And it was nice to see some vulnerability from her too. It's nice to see her open up. And this is what I was waiting for with Heather too. It's like, I want to get to know you. And you just let me inside your story. Yeah. In the Mormon church, it's kind of looked down upon, as I said before, you get married for time and eternity in the Mormon church. So even past this life is what they believe. So, it's a big deal to get divorced. So I can understand, being raised that way and in that pioneer Mormon background that she has and her family like that, it's definitely a big deal. I can see how that would, it's nice to see her open up about that.
Yeah, I agree with you. And, kind of circling back to Jen Shah being that supportive friend, I do want to just kind of lighten up the mood for a second because I see snow everywhere. The mountains are covered and this woman gets out in stilettos.
This is the second or third time. Those are her snowshoes.
Yeah, she's like, got my snowshoes on. And just a funny little tidbit, guys. When we first moved to New York City, Jason and I moved to New York. It was really my first time ever being like in snow like that. And I was a lot younger. I think I was 20 years old. It was like 7 years ago. And you said you need to get a nice pair of snow boots. I said, dude, I am not spending 120 plus bucks on snow boots. I'll wear my FUBU sneakers or my New Balances and I will truck through the snow. It'll be fine. The first day we head out after a big snowstorm, boom, right on my butt, right down the stairs in Central Park. And then I got up and we kept walking. Jason's like, you want to go get snow boots now? I said, no, I got this. We keep walking, boom, slide down, hit my face. I'm like, okay, we'll go get snow boots. So good for you, Jen Shah. Honestly, I couldn't walk in New Balance.
She always has help though. She always has help.
Yeah, she is surrounded by a lot of help. Speaking of that, Jen Shah has a team of people around her that surround her called the Shah Squad. Now, it's really kind of alarming because I think about it and we're like, okay, we know that her husband is a coach and could potentially be making about $2 million a year, right? But does that allow you to staff like 6 to 10 people alone on your side of people who are just constantly there glamming you, assistants, helping you, just pretty much spending time with her so she's not lonely?
Well, I looked at you and I said, what does she do? Because I know that her husband is a coach, but it's like, what does she do? She has this entire staff and everything. I was like, did I miss that in an episode or?
Well, and see, I was trying to go back to and figure it out. And I don't have the answer for you right off the spot. I really don't know exactly what Jen Shah does. But in her casting tape, she says, listen, I don't like women who don't do crap with their life. I don't play well with those women. But I'm just trying to figure out what she does, aside from being a housewife who's entertained by her whole staff. And that's not a dig. I'm here team Jen Shah. I haven't seen one nasty thing from her yet.
No, neither have I. I'm really excited to get to know her family just a little bit more, get to know Sharif a little more. They seem like they have a really cool dynamic and make it work. And I am also interested in how, converting into being a Muslim. I'm just so curious. There's so much about what's happening over there in Shah Chalet.
Assalamu alaikum. I like that. Okay, we'll keep it moving. I know you're not entertained by me. Guys, we have 100 in the room. Go ahead, hit like. We'll drop the link in case you guys want to call. I'll go ahead and do that now in case. And then I want to move on because, hold on really quick. This was a good moment where we saw Whitney. We saw Whitney vulnerable last night, and we saw her story with her dad, and I thought that was great. Her and her dad's dynamic is really touching for the simple fact that her dad has lost everything. This man has been through addiction, has a lot of problems that he's had to navigate. And his daughter is right there just like holding him up like, Dad, you got this. And it's way different than, you know, what we're seeing on Real Housewives of Orange County. Like I said, on DJ Richie Sky's channel, you know, you have someone like Bronwyn who feels like her parents or her mom is weaponizing her alcohol abuse, using it against her. Every time Bronwyn says something that her mom doesn't like, you know, her mom says, okay, well, you're intoxicated or you're drunk or you were drunk. And she feels like she just uses that against her. So seeing this fresh new dynamic and seeing how supportive Whitney is of her dad, I'm digging it.
Yeah, I really like Whitney. I have to agree with Jamal. Jamal said this, that she is Ashley Darby of season 1. And I can't wait. I really think Whitney is just going to hold her own in this franchise moving forward.
Yeah. And I wasn't at first. I was like, you know, Whitney is the weakest link. She does not fit in with the rest of the crew, the baby voice and being an adult and everything that comes with it. She talks about like the infidelity, hooking up with her boss, getting pregnant. I wasn't prejudging her. I just didn't see necessarily where she fit in here unless it was just being Heather Gay's second cousin. But now that we're starting to see her open up and be completely vulnerable with us about her own storyline, as well as her father who's willing to film, I think she's growing on me. And also in this episode, we see another side to one of our most controversial housewives in Housewives history, Mary Cosby. Mary Cosby ends up inviting both Whitney, her dad, and also Meredith Marks to her Pentecostal church. Guys, if you didn't watch this episode, you have to go watch the episode. I'm not someone who was raised in a church, so I didn't know that this is really how it is. But go watch the episode because they're dancing, jumping up and down. She comes out and she's like, yes, yes. And everybody's like crying, like streaming down their face. And she's like hugging them and touching them, letting them know that God is touching them through her. It was like a party.
It was a party. I've been to church like that before, and it's been a lot of fun. I love live bands and live music. It makes church like just so much better. However, I still haven't seen a side to Mary that I like yet. And I just find her so unauthentic and so disingenuous. Like, I don't know. I wouldn't want to go to church with her and hear what she has to say just because of what I've seen on TV so far. And I don't know. For me, it's like, it doesn't, holding a gold mic and like, doesn't seem a little prideful. I don't know. Okay. She just doesn't rub me the right way.
No, I want to keep going on with this. And also we have a few people in the room I'm going to bring up too that can chime in on it, especially Ablavi is in the room and Ablavi has opinions. We know she does. So I can't wait to hear those. And then we want to thank you, Gina. She said, Gina B, for your super chat. This one is for Jason. I love seeing you. Thank you, Gina. That was super sweet. Guys, 120 in the room. Go ahead, hit like. Let's get some more eyes in the room. But also, circling back to Mary, this is my problem with Mary Cosby. I can't get past the amputated legs comment. And this is why. Because she had a moment to redeem herself, and then she filmed at that party. She had the conversation with Jen Shah. She apologized and tried to make it seem like, listen, this is for my own personal experiences. And then she went on to a confessional that we know she filmed after filming at that party saying, what? I said it, like, it's a bad diet. Who gets their legs cut off at 60 years old? And now I know that woman, she has to be sitting at home. She's watching this. Her niece is on the show, probably going to be the front runner of the show. And she has to know that they're talking about her. So imagine how that woman feels, but you're the head of a church and you're making somebody feel like that. I don't necessarily agree with that.
No, I don't know. Yeah. Like I said, I don't get any kind of authenticity from her. Like, she seems like a performer and someone who just, I don't know. She was raised in that church, I'm sure. I don't know. I don't know much about. No, she said it. She said she was raised in that church. Her grandma raised her in that church and kind of bred her to take over and have everything her grandma didn't. Well, also the arranged marriage comment too. Like, I just find it strange.
I mean, strange is probably the best word that you can use.
She said, I'm in an arranged marriage. This is an arranged marriage. I mean,
she said she doesn't have a choice.
Yeah. That was very confusing.
No, I think you have a choice. I just think that you like really expensive things, and that arranged marriage came with multiple houses, a church, a lot of money. You have everything that you want, and that makes sense because otherwise you were put into an arranged marriage, but your best friend was your mother who really tried talking her out of marrying her step grandfather, and it ruined hers and her mother's relationship. Now, in this episode, we see Mary kind of acting as if maybe her mother was jealous, as if everything was supposed to be left to her mother and not Mary. But I don't think that's the case. We saw an interview on Tasha K's YouTube channel where she interviewed somebody who was within the family, and if you guys missed it, you have to go check it out. I'm not going to put words in his mouth, but he feels like this whole thing was done in a shady way in order to take all of the assets, and there's a lot more dimension to this storyline. But when Mary is talking in this episode about her arranged marriage, and then we get to see her with her husband and their kid, it's just very strange. She's like, I didn't want to hook up with him when we first got married. I lied to him and said that I was on my cycle for a week or so after. Like, I kept lying because I wanted to get to know him. The whole thing was so incredibly awkward for her. But my question is was it awkward for her, or does she know that it's going to be so
How is it
awkward?
not awkward for anyone? You're sleeping with your grandmother's husband.
I think it's more awkward for us. I think she was fine with it, but I think it's easier for her to sell it to us like, listen, I was weird about it too. Because I don't necessarily know if she was.
I don't know.
I think she saw.
I can't understand it.
The dollar signs. Okay, so let's keep it moving. Pretty much what I was trying to get at in this at this point was Mary Cosby invited Meredith Marks and Whitney and her dad to the church. Now that caused a conflict because Jen Shah is not on Team Mary Cosby. When Jen Shah finds out that Meredith ends up going to this church of Mary's, Jen Shah gets upset saying, listen, you got to pick a side. She hasn't necessarily said that to Meredith yet, but she's talking to Heather Gay and Whitney at the baby shower saying, you can't be Switzerland. That's not a good friend. What she doesn't know yet, though, is back at Casa Marks, Meredith's family has their own opinions about Jen Shah. When Jen Shah comes over to talk to Meredith, and her son, Brooks, and her daughter, Chloe, they're sitting there talking about this 1920s party and what they're going to wear. She ends up thinking it's super cute to lay on the couch, throw her legs up in the air, show everything that's under that dress, and talk about Grindr. And Meredith's kids were not amused. The next scene that we see them in, Brooks is telling Meredith, that is disgusting. You're a CEO. I don't need to see that woman's private parts, and you're above that. And Meredith was like, well, Jen was going to come over this week for a sleepover. Brooks goes, I don't think so. She's not coming over. You're a CEO. You don't have sleepovers. And that's why I looked at you like, holy cow, who's running the show here? I think it's kind of Brooks.
It's just, he had a lot of great moments on that episode.
Yeah. So he ends up telling her, you're not having the sleepover, and Meredith has to cancel. When we circle back to Jen Shah, she's sitting there getting glammed up for the 1920s party, or like the day before, to see what the look is going to look like, because she can afford to do that, I guess. And she's telling her Shah squad that I don't think Meredith is being a good friend right now. She's seeming kind of flaky. Now, she doesn't necessarily know that it's Brooks yet who's the one who made that final decision, but this is just snowballing into a bigger and bigger problem, because that was strike one, and now her going to Mary's church is strike two. Is it okay to be Switzerland? Heather said everybody needs a Switzerland friend.
I mean, I guess so. Do we have any?
No.
Maybe not.
Okay. All right. I'm going to bring up an opinion really quick and see what she says. Let's see. Hi, Blobby.
Hello. Sorry.
No, you're okay. How are you?
I'm good. I'm bummed. It's not coming up for me yet.
Oh, is it not?
No.
BravoTV.com?
Push. You posted a link in the community, and I think if you just push that, it should take you straight to the episode.
Oh, okay. I'll see it later.
Try that, yeah. Because I had trouble getting to the link at the beginning too.
Yeah, so I'll watch it later. I just wanted to talk about last night's episode because I watched that one.
Okay.
I don't like it.
What? Salt Lake City or the episode?
Salt Lake City.
Why? Tell us.
Okay, I don't have a faith. I don't like anybody.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay, so what don't you like about the women?
Okay, well, I mean, I'm still getting to the Mormon thing. I'm going to give one more episode before I ask more questions, but Mary is a problem. And because my grandmother is Pentecostal, that's a problem with the whole marrying your step granddaddy. Her church is very problematic. and Mary is very disrespectful and rude as well.
I
kind of agree with you on that.
I don't.
Absolutely.
I don't. Yep, we agree with everything you're saying so far.
Like, I don't like Mary at all. And Mary needs to start explaining her plastic surgery and her bleaching. But I'm sure that's going to come into the reunion.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't want to sound insensitive or anything like that. But I've heard about that too. Is that really something? I know the Japanese have like creams and stuff they use to keep their skin lightened and stuff like that. Why would someone? I mean, is there a reason behind that?
Well,
or
it's different. Like when you go outside of America, particularly if you go to Africa, even if you go to Central America, or you go to India. India was the first place I really paid attention to it. They have this thing where they believe to better your race is to widen your line. So they see it as you're bettering yourself, you're getting a higher social standards. And so a lot of people bleach, and a lot of people, it's on commercials. That woman who's married to Nick Jonas, she was famous for promoting these bleaching creams and stuff like that. It's only really now that people are starting to see it as a negative. And I can't say for all African Americans, but particularly African Americans, it is looked down upon as it's just declassé, and people do it, but it's so obvious how like her skin has changed so many skin tones. It causes an internal conflict.
Yeah, I understand that, because when Adam and I were living in Thailand for 6 months or something,
like 5.
Our friend is a big like movie person over there, and she always told us, that like when your skin is darker, it means you work in the fields.
Yeah.
We work in the farms and stuff like that, and I never really understood why.
Well,
remember when we did this magazine cover and she got all tan and she was criticized for being tan.
But then they actually started, because she had such a big influence, they started opening up tanning salons in Thailand because she did that magazine cover, which was really crazy, because actually when we met her, we would go tanning, not tanning at a booth, but like out to the beach and stuff. And she would always cover everything up. And she's like, no, I can't. And one day we're like, just try it. And then she got tan and she loved it.
If I don't have color on my skin, you do not want to see me in front of these lights.
Yeah. I look like a ghost too.
It's definitely seen as, it's definitely going to cause an issue, and it's going to be a bigger problem at a later date.
Okay. Well, I mean, it seems like there's a lot of controversy around Mary. There's the step-grandfather, there's the Pentecostal church, there's apparently cult type situations going on. And then you're also saying allegedly bleaching. Every time that you've said that or anybody else has brought that up, I kind of thought that was just somebody making fun of her. No. Just saying, but I didn't realize that was an actual technique that people use.
Yeah,
I didn't know that.
It's very popular. It's very popular. If you go around, when you go traveling again, pay attention to the commercials. I can't remember what it's called. It's called Bright something, and it's on television, and it's like deodorant how they promote it.
Like it's in Korea and Japan. Yeah, I've seen a lot of these.
Well, and then
that's so interesting to me.
No, yeah. And I just want to piggyback off of both of you really quick, because now that I'm thinking about it, Mary said that she had 12 surgeries to have her sweat glands taken out. Why wouldn't she do something like that? I mean, obviously, if you're willing to do everything else, you can't write it off.
Jen Shah, what's so funny? The text message thing, it was so hilarious, because I get what she was saying. She just didn't articulate it well. It wasn't so much the 2 thumbs up. It was a passive aggressive, and they were being nice, nasty to each other. So it just, like, she could have sent 2 smiley faces. It would have been F you, because it was passive aggressive.
Yeah.
I agree with that.
Yeah, I agree with that too.
And I just don't like Jen. I don't know where she reminds me. I'm wondering where she's from in New York. I'd say she's from, I know where I think she's from, but I'm curious to see where she's from, and I'm curious to see if her sister comes on, and that whole storyline of dating somebody her sister likes, because that's kind of scandalous.
It seems like there's a lot of scandal all over the place in here. I feel like, again, we're dealing with an onion of a franchise that we're just peeling the layers, and it's just getting more and more kind of dirty, to be honest with you.
Yeah.
Each person has like so much crap going on, and I think it's Ablavi. I think you do. You have to give it this one last episode when you get off of here, check it out. And it kind of swayed me a little bit more because I'm starting to understand things a little
I'm
bit
curious though, Blobby, like I just have a question because I know you don't like him and you don't like the franchise yet, which is totally like, yeah, everyone has their own opinion. With Real Housewives of Orange County, I can't get through it and I don't like them. With you not liking Salt Lake right now, would you still watch, or do you think you're kind of like, you know what, I'm done with this? Just out of curiosity.
I have to like December 6th because that's when all my shows are going to be back.
Atlanta.
No, I'm not watching Atlanta this season.
What?
Unless no, I don't. I cannot do another season of Kenya Moore. I need a break.
Okay.
Yeah.
What show are you excited about then by December 6th?
90 Day Fiance.
Okay.
Back. I'm excited about a few things on Netflix. I'm excited about HBO. You know, regular television is coming back. It's like the whole rollout is coming back. So they have, until that, I'll even get it to January, but I'm not liking where it's going because I don't like Jen Shah. I know a lot of people do. I find her very problematic. I don't like Whitney for the same reason. I didn't find that comment funny. I don't understand why you dating black men and being Mormon wouldn't coexist. I guess she was trying to make a joke out of it, but I didn't find it funny. I found it to be sexualizing and declassé.
Yeah.
That's fair.
Absolutely.
No, that's fair. And can I ask you a question, Blobby? A lot of people think that Jen Shah is putting on a show for everybody because she's not internally happy. Like there's something missing there. So she's just putting on an extra, facade for all of us. Now, if you watch this third episode where they end off, they show a preview for the fourth episode of Jen talking about, I'm lonely. Like I'm always in this big place by myself. My husband's always gone. And she starts kind of getting to a break.
Do you think her husband is cheating on her? I'm just asking.
I would hope not.
I don't. Again, I said earlier, I was like, I really want to see Sharif. I don't want to get to know Sharif. And I'm really curious what their relationship is like.
Her and Meredith have kind of the same situation going on.
Right.
Yeah, they talk about it in this episode too.
And I know that Meredith is separated, and I'm completely in agreement with the phone. We are separated. You don't need to see my phone for anything. We are separate.
Right. When you make that decision, you lose those privileges. You lose
those privileges. But the thing about Meredith is I'm not understanding. Is Meredith Jewish or is Meredith Mormon?
Jewish.
Okay.
Yeah, she said that she's one of the few Jewish women that lives in Salt Lake City. I think that's what she said.
I'm sure there are more than just her. But
yeah. I to be honest with you, I thought that there was going to be a big scandal this season of Meredith and Seth potentially like some sort of cheating scandal and their marriage being kind of up in the air. But then Jason and I did that Zoom little premiere party of Meredith Marks. Seth was right there and he was awesome. It seemed like they're very much so like together. And it was interesting. And then watching this episode and having them take control of the narrative first and addressing the fact that they're split and not letting somebody else bring that in, I thought that was just super smart because then they can control what is said.
I don't care for her either. I find her to be dull, very boring. I find her to be
stoic.
No, fake.
You know what? Okay, so first episode, cool, because I was excited and I kind of, was into the first episode. Second episode, I feel you though right now because last night's episode left me a little bit like, I just felt like I was watching Orange County, So this one is a little better. I'm curious to see what you think after this, if any of your opinions have changed.
And I think that's it, right? Oh, Whitney. Okay, Whitney is the only one that interests me. And not for the reason that everybody else is interested. I want to see Whitney's ex-husband. I want to see his ex-wife. I want to understand why Whitney is excommunicated from the church, but Heather is not.
Because Whitney had an affair. So that's looked down upon completely. When you're married in the church and you're sealed together, as they call it, like sealed for time and eternity, when you do have an affair, it's very sinful. Whereas you can divorce, it's just when it's amicable or whatever, and you can separate, but it's just looked down upon, but it doesn't classify for excommunication.
Well, in a black church, it wouldn't matter. She would still be able to be in the church. Look at Jamal.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely. Yeah. A lot of churches, right?
Yeah. So it was just so weird to me. It's like, what do you mean you're excommunicated? And I'm really interested in seeing her storyline because, I mean, her husband is scandalous right now. And I want to see, and I don't really understand how old Whitney is. Is she in her 30s? Like, how young is she?
She has to be, listen.
I don't know. Look that up because I feel like sometimes when she talks and stuff.
She sounds so young, but she
sounds, yeah. I feel like she might be younger than me.
But I am curious, Ablavi, if you watch this third episode, whenever the Bravo app is not glitching, go back, watch the third episode, and you get even more scandal from Whitney's husband, because at the end of this episode, they're throwing a 1920s party, and she's just dressed up. She has this long, like, fake cigarette. It's a lot of costume. And he's like, what are you smoking in that tonight? And she's like, probably something illegal. And he goes, ooh, I like that. And he's he is scandalous. They're a scandalous couple.
Do you think they swing?
I can't even answer that anymore. We have so many friends that were in LA that were swingers that I didn't know about. I just don't even trust anybody anymore not to be a swinger. I feel like, no, I'm saying, like I could see it. I really could see it.
I would love it if they were swingers. It would make something. I just think that this show, it needs somebody pretty on this show. And I know it's going to sound vain, but I do like watching pretty women. And there's no woman on this show that's pretty enough for me to watch every week.
Whoa. You don't think that this is a nice, pretty group of women?
I think this is like a plastic surgeon's worst nightmare.
Oh my gosh, Ablavi, you're so savage when you come on here.
I look like I cannot take Jen Shah and Heather being in the same scene. I have to like brace myself, turn it off, and really calm down, because that is a horror story, what they consider their face. And then we have to talk about Mary. The thing that bothers me about Mary the most is those fashions. That green dress with the tights. It looked like somebody's child at a Christmas pageant. I just could not stand her. And then that shake and go wig. I mean, Bravo is really getting on my nerves with these wigs.
She said it was Valentino.
I don't care what it was. It needs to be burned. You put it in the fireplace.
Isn't it crazy that some people spend such ridiculous amounts of money on this high fashion because Sutton Strack is another one from Real Housewives of Beverly Hills. She wears some just like off the wall stuff and she's like, it's couture. And, I look at it and I'm like, I don't care what it is. It looks like you spent thousands of dollars on something that I would throw in the stockpile.
But I am going to try. I'm going to give it a few more episodes. For season 2, they need somebody attractive. Lisa has too much work done too, and she looks good from certain angles, but other angles she looks very odd. And Lisa is playing games about her money. I don't believe she's as rich as she claims. I don't believe she makes any money from that tequila. She's just doing an MLM like everybody else. You're nothing special.
What is an MLM?
It's a multi-level marketing.
Oh. So just like acting like your brand is doing really successful so more people want it?
It's that scam. It's like, we can lower your bill on your electric if you use this company, and it will be $35 plus da-da-da-da-da.
Well, can I wait, Ablavi, I want to ask you a question really quick, because Lisa Rinna just launched Rinna Beauty, and then 10 minutes after she posted, not exactly 10 minutes after, but right after, she posted another post saying, hey guys, I'm sorry, the site has just gotten so much traffic that it's down. We're already sold out of certain items. And there were comments that were like, nice try. The Kardashians do this all the time. Do you think that that's just a marketing ploy?
That is, but that's
absolutely.
That's not an MLM. That's just bad marketing. MLM is how people used to do business. It's the Avon thing. It's where you sell your product, then 5 more people sell it, and then you're owning it, and then you have people going out in the street selling this product, knowing that it doesn't work. Yeah, that's what she's doing.
All right. Well, Ablavi, I appreciate you. I think we both appreciate you calling in and covering episode 2 with us. But now I think you need to go check out episode 3. That way we can come back and have a conversation again and see if anything's changed.
You're right. Well,
I'm curious.
Next week, because it's Thanksgiving the week after.
All right. It sounds like a plan. And Ablavi, if we don't see you before then, I hope you have an awesome Thanksgiving and you enjoy your family.
Okay.
All right. See you soon.
Bye, Blavi.
All right. Okay, that was good. I feel good.
Yeah.
Okay.
She brought up some great points.
No, she
answered some questions for me.
Oh, she's a tough cookie too. Like Ablavi could be a critic because she comes in and she's not going to tell you what you want to hear. She's going to tell you exactly how she feels. And I think that's why I enjoy bringing her up. You know, it's not that I don't always expect her to hate everybody. Sometimes I like really get excited when she likes somebody, but I usually know that those days are Southern Charm days, and I've gotten to work around and understand Ablavi completely. So I appreciate it. And honestly, I invite anybody to call in with any sort of opinion, whatever the case is. This is a safe space. We don't have to agree with each other. I think it's a lot of fun to have different opinions. And yeah, honestly, guys, if you haven't checked out the episode, go to BravoTV.com, check out episode 3. They snuck it in there. Again, if you weren't in here at the beginning, 224 in the room, go ahead, hit like. But then tonight, they're going to be live tweeting at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, the whole episode. And all of the housewives are going to be tweeting along with it. It's going to be a fun time if you have nothing else to do. But otherwise, just go watch it. And we want to see what everyone thinks. Jamie, thank you so much for the super chat, super sticker. We appreciate you. And also thank you to Shan for helping us mod. Thank you to Jamal for always helping us mod. If you guys haven't already, go check them out on their sites, Reality TV Chit Chat Live. Also Shan and Van. They're awesome too. And I want to end this with asking everybody to say a little prayer for Pops. Send Pops all the love and light. And I'm going to post a thing, guys. Dana actually messaged us and said, can we send a video to Pops? And I'm going to figure out what the best way to do that is. But if you guys want to send like a little 10-second thing saying, hey, Pops, we love you, I would love to put that little compilation video together and send that to him. He's going to be in the hospital until Tuesday, and hopefully he'll be out by Thanksgiving.
And he reads all the comments. He loves going through them, so he does see everything. And I think like the videos would be kind of fun for him too.
Yeah,
he's a fun guy.
Yeah, I agree. All right. Well, with that being said, guys, we love you so much. Thank you for watching, and we will see you guys tomorrow. Bye, guys.